Y'all, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Very rarely do we see games that had such a disastrous and catastrophic launch make a comeback and actually improve themselves into something that people want to play. Well, the game we're talking about today has done just that, but I wonder if it's enough to hold up until the next sequel arrives. So without further ado, let's select our operator and jump into a hovercraft as we talk about Battlefield 2042. And if you enjoy what you see today, be sure to sub to the channel. Okay, let's continue. We all should know of Battlefield 2042 by now. This is regarded as the worst Battlefield game and in some cases, one of the worst video games of all time. This game was essentially the Dylan Dennis of the franchise, where everything leading up to the release was promising, but when it was time to perform, it absolutely fumbled the fucking ball. But just how bad was it, you ask? Well, let's go ahead and take a look, shall we?
Clipped into the bit. Ladder has been found.
Oh. Now guys, don't be too hard on them. This was made by an indie studio. All jokes aside, this game launched worse than expected, and the public outcry was felt all throughout DICE. So much so that they tried to blame Halo Infinite at one point, which... What the hell were they smoking when they chose that to be their cop-out? Fast forward to now, they've surprisingly kept the game updated with Season 6 Dark Creations recently launching on October 9th. The season introduces a new map called Redacted, which is single-handedly the best map in the entire game. This map reminds me a lot of Operation Locker from Battlefield 4 in the sense that it is extremely focused on infantry-style gameplay. All you see are smoke screens, grenades going off, your team is trying to defend the next point, you've got enemies who break through and start pushing from behind. It's a really intense PvP experience and one that's desperately needed for a game like this. We've got 3 new weapons, the G428, the L9CZ, and the VHX-D3. I haven't had the chance to use these weapons, but they seem like they'd be good. Or not, I don't know. We have 2 new gadgets, which are medical and ammo pouches, and this is probably the most disappointing thing out of the entire season personally. Out of all the new gadgets they could have put in this season, throwable pouches similar to what's in BattleBit Remastered is not the best thing. We've also got a new battle pass, which is, well, a battle pass. And to top it all off, we've even got some quality of life improvements that include aim assist improvements, vehicle handling improvements, recon balancing, and more. With all things considered, I genuinely do believe that this is the best season the game has had so far. But is it enough to have players come back? And better yet, is it enough to bring in new players? Well, let's talk about it. I want to go ahead and point out that a lot of these numbers come from the fact that this game just got out of a free-to-play weekend, and the fact that this got taken from $60 USD all the way down to about $9.59. But I genuinely think that this new season has spoken for itself as well. I also know that this season doesn't make the game entirely bug-free. I experienced a few bugs when I was playing it, but hey, that's just how it is. If they want to continue the success that they're having right now, here's what I think they need to do. I think DICE needs to rethink their strategy for 2042 going forward. And what I mean by that is, at the release of every new season, host a free-to-play weekend and discount the game by like 80%. What that's going to do is allow people who've never played this game before try it out, or encourage free players to return and try out the new content. Hell, they may even pay for the game afterwards like I did. And I already know what you're thinking, right? You know, but Blackout, they'll be losing money. If they can provide good seasonal content from here on out, they're going to make more money by discounting the game than they are having it at that $60 USD price tag. When it comes to the seasons themselves, I'm fine with there being a lack of gadgets or weapons in lieu of another map. Those one map a season things aren't really cutting it for anyone anymore, especially those who've been playing the game since day one. You know, when you're dealing with a game like Battlefield, where maps are the main source of content people look forward to, once you play that one map a handful of times, you're pretty much done. I mean, yeah, you could always grind out weapons or the battle pass, but I feel like you'd be wanting to do that on the new map. What I will say is that Redacted is so close quarters and so fun that you can literally run that map as much as you want and not really feel the fatigue of it. The only downside is that the only game mode you can run this map on back to back is Conquest, but if you like that game mode, This whole thing probably has you moister than sandwich meat that's been sitting in the fridge for too long. I think that's about it for now. If you guys are wanting to pick up 2042 at a discount, I'm gonna leave the Steam page link down below. It's on sale until the 26th. Guys, this is the best time to pick up the game, honestly. And now, let's get into my final thoughts. For my final thoughts, I think DICE is listening to their audience. I think this increase in player numbers shows them that what they're doing is working. It's just a damn shame that after 2 years of release, it feels like we're actually getting the Battlefield game that they had promised. Seeing them tap into those CQB infantry style days of old and bring in something like Redacted to the table is a good feeling to me personally. I know some might say, look, they're putting in less effort. Yeah, miss me with that bullshit, okay? This is easily one of the best, if not the best map in the entire game. But while that's all good and dandy, DICE still has to make up for lost time and find a way to regain the trust of the players who thought they were gonna get a good experience like they did with 2042's previous successors. I also want to add here that this isn't the first time a Battlefield game has had mass amounts of ridicule thrown at it. And I'm not going to bother touching Battlefield Hardline because everyone's going to say it's a bad game. I think it's honestly in the top 3 best Battlefield games of all time. If you don't agree with me, sue me. Shit, I remember how people were destroying DICE over Battlefield 5 for numerous reasons. Now when you go and ask people about it, they say it's one of the best Battlefield games of all time. This also jogged another memory of mine. I remember how creators would get absolutely pissed on for saying that 2042 was getting better. And when I would see that, I thought to myself, these people have no problem shitting on a game for being bad. But when the game becomes better and people recognize that, they have an issue with creators recognizing the game for getting better. At the end of the day, you will either absolutely love what 2042 is doing and will hopefully continue to do, or you're gonna hate it, not have any part in it, and simply wait for the next one to come out. Either way, you cannot deny that a 833% increase in players in the span of 2 weeks is beyond fucking impressive for a game that was destined to die before the sequel comes out. Now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what you think about 2042. And while you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button and mark down that sub button so YouTube can show you my content free of charge. Also, consider becoming a member of the channel. It's $3 a month, you get exclusive perks, and more will be coming in the not so distant future. This is Sir Blackout signing off to enjoy a game that I've been waiting so long to get better. Later.